Hello again, beautiful beings of light. Just a little sound check. Hopefully, I sound okay. Yeah, I think that should be good. All right. So, today we're talking all about reptilian shapeshifters. So let's get into it. Let's get started. Whether you feel like you are a novice in this topic or you feel like you are an expert, I am sure that you are going to learn something new today about reptilians, shapeshifting, draconians, whatever you want to call them. We're going to talk about them today, which is really divine and really aligned because I just had, well, my girlfriend actually just had a really interesting in person shape shifting experience just 3 days ago. So, this is a really divine and very aligned topic. Also, a lot of people recently have been getting attacked, psychically attacked, energetically, dark entity, that kind of thing. So, a lot of people have been getting attacked recently. And so, I think it'd be good to just talk about what's going on and how we can actually interact with these beings in a way that's empowering. And how can we actually transmute the energy of these beings to actually be in aid to us, and how can we aid them? Because ultimately, these beings, they're just suffering. We're all suffering in one way or another. We're all still incarnated individual beings separate from source. So we have to have compassion over every living thing in the universe. And so I really want to deep dive into those topics today. Before I do, I just want to mention I have a huge merchandise sale happening today and literally today only. Hi, Paris. Hi, everyone. So you'll see me wearing this epic t-shirt, and it's got my name on the side there too. And so that is 25% off today. That's a pretty good discount. And so I think going from $30 maybe to $20 or maybe even $15, $20, something like that. So check out the link in the description below or the little chat comment box below, and pick your t-shirt or tank top or crystal set up today for 25% off everything in the store. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also, what else did I want to mention? Yeah, really not a whole lot going on. I do have a couple of spots open for this coming group session. If you guys know that I'm like fully booked up with one-on-one sessions, that I'm not taking any more one-on-one clients on, and you still want a little bit of my information, I highly recommend signing yourself up for the group sessions. Every single week, every single group session is so mind-blowing and people get so much from it. So I highly recommend. You get to ask 2 of your top and most pressing questions, and I will channel those questions live in a group session setting, which reminds me I really have to upload the last video from yesterday. Maybe Lauren, you can text me after this and just give me a little reminder. Okay, a couple of other things. Christmas is right around the corner. A lot of you are like, what do I get my loved ones for Christmas? Get them some crystals. I mean, you really can't go wrong. For those who have no idea, for your relatives who have no idea what crystals are, it's a really pretty piece of jewelry. And for those who really do love and know crystals, then they're going to love both aspects of it. So I highly recommend that you check out lilyrosejewelryco.com, and there should also be a link below. I don't really get any, affiliate money. I really just love the couple who does all of the jewelry, and they always send me some beautiful malas, and I love them, even though I'm not wearing literally any jewelry today, which is crazy, but so good. And then last but not least, if you have been psychically attacked recently, please check out my friend Sharma. Same thing. I don't get any affiliate money or anything like that from promoting these people. I seriously just love both of these individuals, but everyone who who has gone to see Sharma, and you've seen me promote her in other videos, she's in the UK and she does clearing, energetic healing. She takes off reptilian attachments, and she understands that not all reptilians are bad either. She's got a really good discernment meter, but everyone who's gone to see Sharma always comes back to me saying they had an incredible experience and how wonderful that woman is. So I highly recommend checking out Sharma, really mostly if you are having issues with psychic attacks, bad dreams, even if you have a child who's going through some sort of psychic attack, if you feel like you have a curse, a hex, an attachment, some chips, etheric chips, you want to go check out Sharma. Once again, she checks me all the time, every week, every day, and she really is spot on when I get some sort of attachment. Okay, and that's it. Other than that, if you guys feel like you want to donate to the cause and give a little bit back as I'm giving out energetically, and if you resonate with this content, then I highly recommend, especially for those on Facebook, hopping over to YouTube and hitting the super chat button. You guys have been seriously so amazing in my live videos, and I just want to say thank you so much for the super chats. And that actually reminds me, I do have exclusive content out there. It's so cheap. It's literally a no-brainer. For $11 a month, you get new content every single day, including exclusive live videos, Q&As where you get to ask me any question your heart desires, tarot card pulls, and homework, weekly homework. It's really incredible. So check that out, $11 a month. It's The Teachers on Facebook, and that should be shifting over to my website very soon, but I've got a whole laundry list of things that I need to do before that happens. Okay, so I want to ask all of you, how has your week been? Where are you from in the world? Give me a little update. What's going on with you? I don't know about you guys, but I have been suffering from the most intense headache in a really long time. Now, when I was a kid, I would suffer from really intense migraines to the point where I would actually throw up because the pain was so bad. Okay, and I really haven't experienced those kind of migraines in a really long time. And now it's back. Like, I've had a constant headache, and I think I mentioned this in one of my last videos, for a week, if not longer than a week now. And then last night it escalated into a migraine, and it was really bad. And, I don't know if it's like the pressure. It's been quite rainy in LA. I don't know. Hi, Sharma. Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, so headaches there too as well, Shannon. I don't know if it's been like the pressure in LA just because it's been super rainy, or the fact that I've been painting my place even though it's low fumes. I obviously those things are not helping, but I kind of tuned into it right before this live video because I'm like, hey, I can channel, why don't I just check into that? So I did. I checked into my own headache, and basically the information that came to me from my spirit guides was that it's an activation. And it kind of makes sense because there are two chakras above our crown chakra that are activating and opening up right now. And so just like with the ear chakras and the hand chakras, you're going to get aches and pains. You're going to get ringing in the ears. You're going to, have these kind of symptoms. And I really think that the headaches are a part of this activation, or maybe a DNA shift as well. But I just kept hearing the word activate or activation. And speaking of activation, I just want to say for all of you, I kind of like keeping you updated on what I'm resonating with. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to resonate with it as well, but I just want to put it out there. A client of mine, he's probably watching this right now. Hey, Ryan. A client of mine recently was talking about his sister, I believe, who has a really bad brain tumor. And he was doing a bunch of research, and he stumbled across activated charcoal. Now, I used to get really into activated charcoal years ago, and I even make my own toothpaste with activated charcoal. That's why my teeth are so white. But yeah, and so he said, look, drink 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon a day, and you will basically flush out all of the heavy metals, all of the toxins, all of the damage that you've done to your body. It will be a liver cleanse. It will be a kidney cleanse. It will literally be a cleanse for your entire internal body. And it really helps also with skin issues such as eczema or acne, which has really helped me. So I just, like, I'm not promoting anything, guys. I'm literally just giving you some really good advice to say, I'm drinking black water, and it's been incredible. And it really, I don't know, like, the water tastes so clear and so fresh. Like, I don't, hi, Corinne. Thank you so much for that super chat. Yeah, the water tastes so good. And of course, they use charcoal in normal water filters, which is interesting, but drinking the charcoal and then the particles actually latch on to these heavy metals and these toxins in your body. So I highly, highly, highly recommend, literally, you don't have to drink activated charcoal all the time, but doing a 1 week cleanse of it, just making sure, guys, that you do your own research, that you see if it resonates with your own body. But we're moving into 2020, and this is literally the perfect time to cleanse your body. Okay. So it's really important that you kind of keep that in mind. Once again, I've been drinking activated charcoal for, I think, 4 days now, and I feel so good. At first, it got really bloated and like heavy and crampy and like all the signs that my body was doing a major detox. And now I feel really good, like really good. Okay. So really kind of keeping that in mind, just because you might be wondering why I'm drinking black water, and it tastes good. Like, it literally tastes like fresh water. It doesn't taste like weird, weird black water. Okay, so a couple of you have also been having headaches and probably some other symptoms of shifting and awakening, so that's okay. So I wanted to first start off with an experience that my girlfriend had with, like, upfront with a Reptilian Shapeshifter 3 days ago. But I also want to let all of you know, especially those who are new to my channel or new to my content. First major thing that I really need to put out there as a disclaimer: everything that I know about this stuff has come channeled through me, or it's a direct experience that I've had. I don't read books on this stuff. I don't watch documentaries or YouTube videos on this stuff. I literally just channel whatever it is. So that makes me knowledgeable, but it also makes me extremely ignorant in a lot of other ways. Okay, so I just want to put a disclaimer out there. And then the other disclaimer is, reptilians are not all bad, okay? I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm just here to basically open up your mind and say, hey, think about every single species in the entire universe as human beings. There are some good humans, and there are some not so good humans. And that's okay, right? I mean, we can't judge anyone or anything out there. So we just have to be aware that, hey, I'm not trying to really put down reptilians or whatever. I'm just trying to kind of, bring awareness to this topic. That's pretty much about it. Okay. So even though every species has good and bad individuals within the species, there is kind of an overview of the species of either a high vibration, which I just consider service to others, or a lower vibration, which I consider service to self. Okay. So once again, different species have service to others in them, and some have service to self in them as well. So just kind of be aware of that. So it was 3 days ago, and my girlfriend went to the store just to kind of pick up some food for dinner. And while she was at the store, super interesting. While she was at the store, she was like walking into this grocery store. And as she was walking in, there was this man who was walking past her. And all of a sudden, his face glitched, okay? Like, that's how I could describe it. That's how she described it. It kind of glitched. And at first, she said it looked like something was really wrong with this guy's face, right? And it kind of looked like, I don't know, maybe he had some major scarring or like major whatever going on with his face. But as she walked past this man, his face glitched, and all of a sudden she saw these like protruding forehead, these like scales and bumps and different things. Thank you so much, Zotac Sky. Thank you for that super chat. Really appreciated. So this guy just shapeshifted, just completely shifted in front of her. And then she was like kind of like looking at him, like don't stare kind of thing. And then he like noticed or felt maybe that she was looking at him, or that she was able to see him as who he really was. And he he like glanced over at her and like kind of gave her this like eye, and then when he looked at her, his face turned back to just this normal smooth human face, which is really interesting. And then when she came home to tell me about it, it's really interesting. She pops open her phone and there's this message from this guy in the UK, and he's actually a really famous, believe it or not, psychic. And he has really dark energy. And she was going to work with him on some sort of campaign because she does like social media influencing, influencer marketing, as well as website design. So if you ever need someone like that, just email me and I'll direct you to her. But anyway, so she was going to work with him, and I got some really bad vibes. And when I checked out his energy, he has this giant. It was probably the most disturbing, and I've seen a lot of disturbing things in the astral plane, but it was probably one of the most disturbing images I've ever seen. He's like a little man, I guess, I don't know, boy, like he's around my age, and he had this giant reptilian parasite that was attached to him, and there was all these little like gremlins, and every client that he has, he attaches, and he doesn't even know what's happening because he's kind of just a shell of a human at this point. Anyway, doesn't matter. I don't have to go into it, but he got some really wicked attachments to him. And right when she saw that shapeshifter guy in person, she went back home, like she went back to our place, and she popped open her phone and she had a message from that psychic guy. And he was like trying to basically bring her back in, like, hey, like we never connected 4 months ago. Like we should really connect. And I'm like, oh my God. And then right when we're like looking, she's like, look who just messaged me. Like right when she tells me what happened. And then he messages her. And then like literally right when we're looking at each other, all of our lights shut down, like our electricity in our house. It just boom, everything just shuts down. We're like, what's going on? It was so freaky. Anyway, so we put protection and stuff like that all over our little condo here. But so it was really interesting. And that kind of leads me to the information regarding when you think about a species, when you think about anything, your intention brings them in. Okay? So when you're thinking about Palladians and you're thinking about angels and you're thinking about getting a beautiful divine healing from your spirit guides, guess what? You're bringing in their vibration. You're asking for what you want through your thoughts. So guys, I don't want to freak you out, and I don't want to turn you off of doing your own research, because 100% it's necessary. But if all you're doing all day is consuming reptilian videos and Illuminati bullshit and QAnon whatever and this and that, you're just consuming a bunch of low vibrational content and information that is essentially lowering your vibration. And as you think about them, you're basically putting out a signal to say, hey, I'm open to you guys, which once again is fine, because back in the day, I did a bunch of research when I started tuning into reptilian shapeshifters and seeing them in person and breaking through the matrix. And I was doing all that stuff at 18, 19 years old. And I came across David Icke, which is really awesome. And half of me is like, is he a reptilian? And once you start to open your mind to like, oh my goodness, there's these nefarious type of beings who are controlling humans and projecting, I don't know, it's just crazy. And then you're like, is everyone a reptilian shapeshifter? And no, it's definitely not the case. But anyway, just be aware. Like, it's good to know both the light and the dark. It's good to have the knowledge of both. It's good to have the discernment of both light and dark, of both high vibrational beings and low vibrational beings. But ultimately, when you're consuming one thing constantly, you are calling that thing in. So I just want to kind of open your mind to that. That's all. Once again, not every reptilian is negative or evil. I don't like we use that word. It doesn't really, I actually don't want to use that word at all, because I don't really believe in evil. And we're going to talk a little bit about that low vibrational energy and how we can have compassion over them. But before I do, I just want to give you a little brief history of the reptilians. Now, the only reason why I know this really hidden ancient human history is because I've astral traveled and remote viewed back in time. It's really cool, right? Like when you start astral traveling, you're actually able to tap into other timelines within humanity and other planets to see what was going on back in the day. So that's what I've done. I've done that. Yeah, I've done that a lot actually to see what was really going on. So take it or leave it. This is just my own research, my own channeling. I don't expect all of you to just gung-ho believe in whatever I'm talking about, you know. So ultimately, what I've channeled is that draconians or reptilians were the original intelligent species here on this planet. And if we really think about the dinosaur era, like if we look at T-Rexes with the long tails and the little arms and how they run and their kind of demeanor even, it's extremely similar to just a more modern, a much more advanced and intelligent, almost humanoid version of dinosaurs are the reptilians and draconians. That's literally what they look like. They've got this very thick green kind of scaly coat to them, almost like, it feels like almost like elephant skin, but green, sometimes a little bit grayish. And there's many different species within the draconian reptilian species as well, many different subspecies within them. Anyway, I believe from my channeling that they were one of the original species, intelligent species here on the planet. If you think about alligators, I think it's alligators, who've been around like 2 million years. Is that the case? 2 million years. Alligators, crocodiles have been around for like 2 million years. You know, once again, that reptile kind of able to adapt to the environment. I mean, they've really survived a lot. Now, so they were the original intelligent species. I like saying intelligent because there's many different species on this planet long before human beings. But I believe that reptilians were one of the original intelligent species on this planet. Then I believe a really intelligent, highly advanced species called the Anunnaki, or Nephilim, whatever you want to call them, came to this planet. And upon doing so, they basically wanted to mine this planet of its resources. And they started to work with these draconians, with these species on the planet to basically help them create this other species, being human beings, this experiment. And then human beings were basically meant to be a slave race to basically help mine gold and other minerals that the Anunnaki needed here on this planet. And so the Anunnaki and the reptilians went into this trade deal of, hey, if we can buddy-buddy and get along, then we can both utilize and use the human beings, or whatever they were back in the day, because there were many different versions of this, form before they got it right, in a sense. And then, so they kind of went into cahoots together, and that's kind of how that started. But what ended up happening, and this wasn't too long ago, this was maybe like, I don't know, like maybe 8,000, 10,000 BCE. Okay, so this wasn't really that long ago, where the Galactic Federation ended up coming to this planet, and it's like a long story, and I talk about it in my lectures, but basically the Galactic Federation ended up coming to this planet and saying, both the Draconians, the Reptilians, and the Anunnaki are no longer able to interfere into the lives of human beings, Homo sapiens. No longer able to interfere. Now, this really pissed the Reptilians off because they're like, hey, like this is our planet, like we can do what we want with the people or the beings on this planet. And the GFL, the Galactic Federation, said, actually, Draconians, you need to be off of this planet because you can no longer interfere. So the Galactic Federation tried to kick the Reptilians off the planet. And this is really during like ancient Egyptian type of era. And the reptilians wouldn't go. They're like, no, we're not leaving. Like, we're not leaving our own planet. And I don't blame them. Definitely don't blame them, for feeling that way. And so the Galactic Federation basically pushed the reptilians underground. They said, if you're not getting off the planet, then you've got to go underneath the planet. You've got to go underground because you can no longer interfere into the humans' lives. And once again, they didn't like that. But all of those caverns, all of those tunnels, all of those systems beings that are underneath this earth that have been proven by science, okay, those were all actually created by the reptilians, first and foremost. And that's actually how they were able to survive a lot of different pole shiftings and cataclysms throughout the years on this planet, is by going underground, being back up above ground, and then underground and above ground again. Okay, so that's the ancient history that I've channeled. Take it or leave it. I know for some of you who have never heard any of that information before, it's going to sound wild, it's going to sound crazy, I'm going to sound like a nut job, but hey, I mean, that's literally just what I saw, with my own eyes, by astral traveling back into those days. Okay. So then what happened was the Galactic Federation started to mingle their DNA, being the angelic, the Palladian, the gray DNA, with the Homo sapiens, right? With human beings. All of a sudden, human beings got a huge uptick of DNA. All of a sudden, we got 8th dimensional DNA, we got 7th dimensional DNA, we got 6th dimensional DNA. And here the reptilians are in this 4th dimension density, unable to connect to the cosmos, unable to have those shamanic energies as the humans back in those days were able to have. That pissed those reptilians off even more, to think that these lowly slave, right, original slave beings, human beings, are actually now more powerful than reptilians, because we have greater DNA, greater amounts of DNA within us, and on top of that, we get to have their land, right? So imagine the kind of uproar that this created within the reptilians. They did not like that at all. Once again, can we blame them? Probably not. I really can. If that really happened to me too, I'd probably be kind of pissed off. And so we already know that we have a high amount of reptilian DNA within our system. We know that because we have something called the prefrontal cortex in our brains, which is literally called the reptilian brain, okay? And that is our fight and flight mechanisms, okay? Fight and flight mechanisms. All of that, it really programmed and ingrained fear and power control issues and greed issues, okay? All of those really pre-programmed aspects of human, okay? That's coming from that prefrontal cortex, and essentially that's coming from the beautiful gift that those reptilian beings gave us. Ultimately, I can love every aspect of myself, whether it be Palladian or gray or reptilian or Anunnaki. I can love all the aspects because it allows me to really have the binary, to really have the full picture of what it's like out there in the universe. I get to play with both sides. I get to dabble in light and dark. How special am I? How special are we? It's really quite incredible. And we cannot be fearful of it, because if we are, we're lowering our vibration and we're feeding into those DNA mechanisms, okay? So it's a little, who are they? That's a little overview of who they are related to this planet. There are draconians and reptilians of all different kinds and species. Some have tails, some have wings, some have neither, some have both, some have horns, some don't, okay? There's a ton of different draconian reptilians out there in the universe. I'm just talking about our association and our history in relation to the reptilians on this planet, okay? That's who they are in relation to us. I don't know why that wasn't blocked. Okay, so ultimately, we need to have compassion over these beings. Like, ultimately, think about a child, okay? A child who has had their whole family ripped away, has had their home stripped away from them, has had all of their, beautiful possessions that they love stripped away. Imagine a child who has had everything taken away from them, and they're just sitting there and they're really sad. Right? You don't have pity over that child. You have compassion for that child. And that's really how I feel about these reptilian beings, is I honestly have compassion over them. Ultimately, they are a consciousness incarnated into a body separate from source. And because they choose service to self and they choose fear over love most of the time, they are even further separated from source. Therefore, they don't know what love feels like. Like, have you ever been super, super, super angry at someone and you've either yelled at them or you've like, hit them or hit something like a pillow or something. There's so much anger in you and you don't know where that's coming from, right? I don't want to say that that's coming from your reptilian side, not necessarily, but think about getting caught up in that anger. Think about getting caught up in that vibration, that fear all the time. Think about never experiencing the feeling of love from others or from yourself. That's sad. These beings are hurting, right? Now, the reason why I'm focusing so much attention on the compassion that we need to have surrounding these reptilians is because the more compassion we have around them, the more power we have within ourselves to override any sort of fear or manipulation or projection that they give us. Our unconditional love is our greatest superpower. Okay? That will allow us to override any sort of pre-programming of the reptilian DNA and override any sort of fear or manipulation given to us from those beings. Okay? It's really important. Really important. Okay, so one thing I want to mention, like, when we're going through our awakening process and we're opening up our third eye and our crown chakra and we're allowing this energy in to come through, okay, we tend to open ourselves up in a very innocent way, in the way that we actually just allow anything and everything to come through without discernment or direction. Right? You're so excited to get connected to the astral plane. You're so excited to open your third eye. You're so excited to have any sort of other multidimensional experience that you're really open and you're really innocent. And to be honest, what tends to happen when you're really open and you're really innocent is you just attract anything. You just allow anything in. And that leaves you very vulnerable, right? And that's not a good thing. So it's okay to open yourself up. But, okay, two things. Please, please, please open yourself up with an intention. I am opening my third eye with the intention to connect to the highest vibration within myself, okay? So always open yourself up with an intention. Maybe it's through meditation, maybe it's right before bedtime. Open yourself up with an intention. And the second thing is, try not to go to another being. Okay, try not to go to someone else for information, whether that be a teacher, like a spiritual teacher, in a physical way, whether that be a grandfather, right? You can go get advice, but make sure you're always using your own discernment. But ultimately, don't connect and say, okay, spirit guides, tell me what to do. The more you put an emphasis and you project your own power into someone or something else, especially spirit guides, if you're like, okay, spirit guides, tell me what I need to do. What should I do here? When you open yourself up and you want information from your spirit guides, you're leaving yourself open and vulnerable to another being coming through, projecting themselves as your spirit guide. Okay, that's possible. It's rare, but it's possible. When you're just kind of open and you don't have a clear direction, you kind of allow manipulation to take place. So then what? What do? Right? You open yourself up with intention and you open yourself up to pure source connection. That's it. Don't open yourself up to a Palladian or an angel or another being or a spirit guide. Ultimately, it is pure source who has all the answers and information for you because it is you, or it's your higher self. Go to yourself with information. Okay, don't try and open yourself. Like right now at this time, we don't even need our spirit guides. I mean, it's nice to have them and have that divine flow and have something watching our back. But ultimately, you have yourself, and that pure connection to source is going to really allow you to connect to all of the information without needing to filter it through some other being. Even your spirit guide, even that beautiful Palladian or that Arcturian or that Syrian, in the 8th dimension or what have you, even they are a soul contained within a body. Any soul that is contained within a body that is incarnated has its own limitations and lessons to work through. They are not the all-knowing sources, pure source, okay, pure source consciousness. That's who you should always be going to. And it's not a who, it's just an it. It's a thing, it's a source, it's a power, it's an energy, it's a vibration. Okay? Okay. I just thought that was important to note. Okay? Okay, good. Okay, yeah. So the analogy that came to mind when interacting with reptilians is very similar to interacting with a ghost. Okay, very similar to interacting with a ghost. And in that way, ghosts are stuck in the fourth dimensional plane. Time, space are all kind of very lucid for ghosts and spirits. And they're just, unfortunately, they are stuck. There's a bit of a purgatory there. That's okay. I mean, they can get unstuck. That's fine. But a lot of service to self reptilians are the same way. They are stuck in this weird, liminal plane, and they don't know how to get themselves out of it. So the number one thing, this is really beautiful, actually. This is how I deal with any sort of reptilian interaction these days, even though it's been quite a while since I have had that reptilian interaction. I used to be a lot more in my early days because I would literally go and fight them in the astral plane, like just full-on battles. Now I don't. There's no need to fight. But yeah, so one thing, if you come in contact with a dark entity, a dark spirit, a reptilian being, like something dark that's trying to suck your energy, right? Ultimately, you can tell them, thank you for being here. What would you like from me? Do you want me to help you? Do you need help crossing over? Do you need help transcending your vibration? Do you need help loving yourself? Because I could help you with that, right? So I have a client of mine. She's young. She's actually 19. And so she has had constant interactions with one in particular, really dark kind of reptilian being who growls at her a lot, actually. And she's such a high vibrational girl, too. Anyway, and so she's had this interaction with this being. And I told her, I said, ultimately, what you need to do is you need to tell this being that you love him. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just drawing him in even more. Like, that's what he wants. He wants me to, like, love him and give him my energy. And I said, no. He does not want unconditional love. He doesn't even know what that feels like. That's the last thing that he wants. Okay? So what I told her, I said, next time he visits you in the middle of the night, I want you to tell him I love you. And so at first she said, I love you. And she's like, I said the words, but I didn't really mean it. And he was still kind of there. And then he ended up going away when I started repeating it. And I'm like, okay, good. That's a good start, right? And then I said, okay, so now I want you to really focus on letting go of the fear and truly feeling that unconditional love for him deep down within your soul. And she did. And she felt it. And she says, I love you. Thank you for being here. Boom, and in an instant, he left. Either they transmute from dark to light, or they leave. They just can't handle it, okay? And I've got some other pointers here that I want to go over. But before I do, while I have all of you in the middle of my video, I just want to say I have a huge merchandise sale happening today. I guess it's something called Cyber Monday. But yeah, so check it out. You will see a link posted in the comments below. And this right here is one of my t-shirts. And it's gender neutral. It's got my name right on the sleeve. And this is actually the alignment tee. So this t-shirt, when you wear it, is meant to align your vibrational frequency, and it's got gold within it, which is incredible because I've washed this shirt so many times and it still looks brand new, which is amazing. So yeah, so just check it out. I think they're originally $30, and then with a 25% discount, it comes out to about $20, which is incredible. Ships worldwide. So check it out. I have a t-shirt, I have a tank top that's all about the solar plexus, especially for you ladies, and then I've also got a crystal and Palo Santo set, okay? So check it all out. Everything today and today only is 25% off using the code SALE25, okay? And that's it. That's my only little interjection. Okay, so let's move on. What else did I want to say? Yeah. So, service to self, reptilians tend to play on fear, greed, power. Once again, they're just jealous and stuck. And right now at this time, all of the lower vibrational reptilian shapeshifters are being kicked off of the planet. Yay! Okay, all of the lower vibrational shapeshifters. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Happy Vibes, for that beautiful super chat. Yeah, all of the lower vibrational shapeshifters and reptilians are being kicked off at this time. You'll see right now huge pedophile rings being exposed and basically, I don't know, shut down. A lot of people like Harvey Weinstein being shut down, right? Because the Galactic Federation, the shadow government that is versus the shadow government, not really allowing these things to happen anymore. And they're basically swooping in and they are collapsing and destroying a lot of the reptilian underground bases. Now, that being said, if there is a reptilian shapeshifter or a reptilian being who is a very high vibration, who's like, yeah, I'm sick of this fight too, and I just want to help serve humanity, fantastic, then come on over to our side. Those ones aren't being kicked off. And ultimately, whether they're physically being kicked off or deported or not, the vibration on this planet is basically forcing these beings to either, once again, ascend, to transmute, or to just leave altogether. Okay, so there's this really interesting, really beautiful kind of shift that is happening at this time. Same thing. So a lot of reptilian shapeshifters have been kicked off over the years for quite some time now. And what I'm tending to find is that there are a few, like a handful of these shapeshifters that are still on the planet. I'm not going to name names, but maybe the Rothschilds, the Roosevelts, right? Like there's like a lot of there's the 13 families that have all of the money in the world. Let's just say that there's a pretty good chance that they're, a very high DNA shapeshifter reptilian, family. Also, let's just talk about Queen Elizabeth, okay? Crazy. So I don't really do a lot of personal channeling in my own free time because I do it all day for others anyway. But I want to let you know, and I'm not going to say much about this because I literally can't say much about this. Like I would be a huge target if I mentioned anything extensively about this. But I have been following the whole, I think her name is Meghan Markle, and the whole royal family in England. It is really interesting. I mean, we're getting the headlines, and I can read right through those headlines, and I know exactly what's been going on with the royal family and a lot of the collapse of the structures within that royal family. And also, just for your information, Queen Elizabeth, and I can say this because it's super common knowledge, Queen Elizabeth is the #1 most reported reptilian shapeshifter on the planet. I'm going to repeat that. Queen Elizabeth is the #1 most reported reptilian shapeshifter on the planet. So, thousands, like I'm telling you, thousands of people every single year, this mostly happens in person, will have Queen Elizabeth will be walking or whatever, I don't know what she does. She doesn't come out too often nowadays, but she will be walking around. And of course she's got bodyguards and security and all of that. And there's a huge crowd that wants to come out and see this royal queen or whatever. And so all these people will literally see parts of her shifting in front of them. And they will call in, they will literally, I don't know who they call the government, call up, London, hello, yes, I just saw Queen Elizabeth as a giant reptilian, what do I do, So they actually call in. So they have thousands of reports every single year of Queen Elizabeth shapeshifting in front of them. So how do we deal with how are we even able to see a shapeshifter? Okay, how are we even able to see a shapeshifter? Ultimately, guys, if you want to see a shapeshifter in front of you, it's not risky. There's risks for everything, but it's not super, super risky, I guess. And the reason why I say that is If you're in a public place and you end up breaking through the matrix and you see someone shift into their true form, what are they going to do about that? You're in a public place, right? So it's not super risky to see that. All you have to do, I'm promising you, like back in the day when I was 18 and I started learning about reptilians because I started interacting with them and understanding who they were, I wanted to see one in person. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm always interacting with them in the astral realm, but what about in person? You know, how do I interact with a full reptilian shapeshifter live, like in my face? And I asked for it. All I did, guys, was I asked to see one in person, and I saw 2 in 1 week. And I was in, literally, it's called, like the city is called Hamilton, which is right beside Toronto. So, I mean, it's a bigger city, but it's not, you know, it's not like Los Angeles or Toronto or whatever, right? Like it's a pretty small kind of place. And I saw 2, not on the same day, but in the same week. Riding a bus, like riding a public bus. I saw them in front of me. I'm like, what is going on? So literally, if you're ready, only if you're ready, you can ask to see them in person. You can ask to do that. Ultimately, all you need to do to break through the matrix, to see someone in their true form, 2 things. 1 is ask for it. Nothing's ever going to happen if you don't ask. And 2 is you need to be at the right vibration. You need to be at a certain high vibration. If you are stuck in the matrix, if you are like Neo before he broke through the matrix, okay, if you're stuck just doing your thing and like wearing your suit and like being a robot, you're never going to break through the matrix and see them in their true form. If you choose to rise above this matrix reality and you start to tap into multidimensional realities, that's when you start to open up and really understand what else is out there. It's so funny, this movie just popped into my mind, and it's a really old movie, and I've actually never seen it, but I've heard it being referenced before. And it's a movie, I think it's probably in the 60s maybe, where you would put on these glasses. Tell me if you know this movie, where you would put on these glasses and all of a sudden you would see like businessmen and like politicians as skeletons or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so there's movies out there that kind of reference this. The other thing too, there's actually TV shows too. I think it's V. It's called V, maybe, the TV show. Still old school, but still same concept of like these beings who are shifting into human bodies. Anyway, super interesting. And the other thing too is like, like I kind of started with this video, like try not to get too involved in all of the research of the reptilians, but also be aware and bring knowledge to yourself. But there's a lot of really cool videos on YouTube out there of celebrities and politicians and even newscasters shape-shifting. And their eyes will flicker and shapeshift and stuff. Once again, use your own discernment. I mean, all of that could be CGI, but it really has to, you know, once again, resonate with you. So yeah, so I recommend that you guys all try to break through the matrix. Make sure you're safe about it. But the more that you're exposed to the dark side, the more that you start to realize that it has no power over you. The more that you leave the dark in the dark, the more you give it power. And the analogy has always stuck with me. Someone told me this a long time ago. Okay, imagine like a dark room, okay? And you've got a candle, like one flame lit in the dark room. And so you see, you know, the light is flickering off of all of the doors and windows and whatever and the stuff in the room, right? It's good because you can see things. But behind the door, there's a really deep shadow. And you're always scared about what's behind the door, or you're always scared about what's behind the closet, right? And that fear, the more you fear, the more the fear increases. The second you look behind the door or you open that closet door, it's not as scary. You shed light into the dark creases of your life. The more you choose to look at the darkness, the less scary, the less fearful, the less dark it actually becomes. And the more enlightened you become. Okay? So yes, there is something called a shadow government or an Illuminati. Yes, I do believe that this shadow government or Illuminati is controlled by a whole other species, reptilians. Yes, I believe there's a lot of players in that system who are not reptilian shapeshifters, who have no idea what's going on at the top of that pyramid. Yes, I believe that we have been fed information about them to make us more scared than ever before. And yes, I believe that we are so much more powerful than them, that we need to have compassion over them. And ultimately, it's that love, unconditional love and unconditional compassion, that is going to transmute them into the light, or is going to allow us to protect ourselves against them. Okay? When we're like, oh no, I don't know what's going on. They really freak me out. I never want to encounter one. You know, what if they're a whole government? What if my dad is one? What's going on? You're just inviting that energy in. Because you're not like, yeah, they exist. And yeah, I'm going to be up here. And yeah, this is fine. Because here I am. And they can't touch me. That kind of energy. Not in a cocky way where you're all of a sudden ignorant. But in a way that you're like, even if they do come close, I have compassion over them because they're just in a dark place. I was once in a dark place. I dealt with depression. Think about it as them just dealing with depression. That sucks. That sucks. I don't want anyone to deal with depression. So I want to give them love, right? So it's important, okay? It's important that you transmute that energy. Okay, so let's get to the draw. And I just want to say thank you guys. I'm receiving a lot of reviews from all of you. So thank you for all of your beautiful reviews. Thank you for reviewing me on iTunes, on Google. Thank you for reviewing me on Facebook. Really, really, really appreciate it. Everyone who reviews me gets their name in this bucket. So I think I probably have over 500 names now. And I try and choose 2 people per live video. And then if your name is chosen, please reach out to me, please email me, and I will send you a free webinar of your choosing. And then that being said, a couple of announcements. Check out lilyrosejewelryco.com for incredible, beautiful, handcrafted bracelets, necklaces, malas. Christmas is right around the corner. It's a really great gift to give someone crystals. Check out Sharma Pilley in the UK. She's a really good friend of mine. She does reptilian shapeshifter clearings. Okay, she clears all my shit from me all the time, which is incredible. Check out drinking, what is it called? Charcoal, activated charcoal water. Okay, you literally put a scoop of charcoal in your water, and it's really clearing. I mean, that's not really a promotion. It's just like a health tip, you know, it's just like clear out heavy metals, toxins. It's also been proven to like clear out brain tumors, cancer cells, all of that. Activated charcoal, guys. It will literally like improve your life tenfold. Just saying. Okay, and then that's about it. Oh yeah, merchandise. Once again, guys, 25% off all of my merch today and today only. The links will be posted in the comments, and then I'll quickly post them in the description of each live video as well. And then, yeah, and then group sessions. So feel free to join me if you guys want me to channel your information personally, one-on-one. I will go ahead and do so in a group session. I have 2 group sessions every single week. They're really incredible. People really love them, but they do book up fast because there's only 9 people per group session. Okay. All right. So lucky winner number 1. I always imagine a drum roll going on in my head. Right there. And lucky winner number 2. Oh, I've got like 3 here. Hold on. Okay. So our first winner is, awesome, Rhonda Elliott. Thank you, Rhonda Elliott, so much for your incredible review. Really appreciated that. And I put a C, which is, no, is that a C or a G? I know I always put like the little like the letter of where they reviewed me, but now I honestly don't know what C represents, so that doesn't really work. My system is flawed. Okay, and then the second winner for today is, Abraham Nasser. Congratulations, Abraham. Congratulations, Rhonda. Once again, Rhonda Elliott, congratulations, and Abraham Nasser. Thank you guys so much. I recognize both of your names, and I know that you actually frequent my live videos quite often, so please email me, expand@elizabethapril.com, and Check out Sharma Pillai and check out Lily Rose and check out some activated charcoal, and have an incredible rest of your week, guys. Keep up the good work. I'm sending you all so much love. Check out my teachers membership page if you are looking and hungry for more content, because I'm constantly posting on that page every single day. Okay? Bye, everyone. Love you. Bye, Facebook. Thank you. Bye, YouTube. Love you guys. See you next week.